Words can build bridges to connect two souls, or they can build walls. Most of us, with the very best of intentions, spend our lives accidentally building walls. We are taught from a young age that our words are a tool to get something. We use them to get approval, to get validation, to get a specific reaction, to win an argument, to manage another person's perception of us. Our speech becomes a transaction, a performance, a negotiation. And in doing so, our words, no matter how beautifully arranged, become energetically poor. They are laced with the subtle frequency of need. You have felt this poverty in your own conversations. The moment you say something, and then immediately hold your breath, waiting to see how he will react. The moment you carefully craft a text message, not to express a truth, but to elicit a specific response. The moment you over-explain your feelings, hoping your logic will force him to understand you. These are the words of a beggar, holding out a cup and hoping for a coin of affection. And while a man may drop a coin in your cup, he will never become addicted to the energy of begging. But what if there was another way to speak? A way of communicating so powerful, so authentic and so self-possessed that it bypasses his analytical mind and creates a deep, resonant and almost addictive pull in his soul? What if the most magnetic words are not the ones that ask for something, but the ones that are a pure expression of your own inner fullness? This video will reveal this. Not a magic phrase or a clever line, but a profound shift in the very source of your communication. We will explore the deep psychology, guided by the wisdom of Jung, of why a man becomes addicted not to the words a woman says, but to the feeling her authentic communication creates within him. You will learn how to stop speaking from the needy ego and start speaking from what we will call the unneeding center. And you will discover that the words that make you truly unforgettable are not the ones you use to capture his attention, but the ones that prove you are not afraid to live without it. To understand what makes a certain way of speaking addictive, we must first understand that we are not communicating with just one person. We are communicating with three distinct layers of their brain, a concept simplified from the triune brain model. Think of a man as a three-story house. The top floor is his neocortex, or what we can call the CEO brain. This is the logical, analytical, and language-based part of him. It is the part that processes facts, makes plans, and debates ideas. Most of our modern communication is designed to speak only to this top floor. The typical getting-to-know-you conversation, trading facts about your job, your education, your hobbies, is a conversation between two CEOs. It can be interesting, it can be informative, but it rarely creates a deep addictive pull. The main floor is his limbic brain, or the feeling brain. This is the seat of his emotions, his memories, and his capacity for social bonding. This brain does not understand logic or facts. It understands feelings, joy, sadness, excitement, and most importantly for our topic, the feeling of connection. An addictive conversation is one that bypasses the CEO on the top floor and comes down to have a warm, engaging conversation with the feeling brain in the living room. And in the basement is his reptilian brain, the survival brain. This is the oldest, most powerful, and most primal part of him. It is not concerned with facts or feelings. It is concerned with only one question, a question it is asking every single second of the day. Am I safe? This brain is the silent, vigilant guardian of the entire house, and if it senses even the slightest threat, it will lock down all the doors and no real connection will be possible. The woman who speaks with the poverty of words, the woman whose speech is laced with a need for validation, is making a critical mistake. She is trying to have a conversation with the CEO on the top floor, but her needy, anxious energy is sending a signal of panic down to the survival brain in the basement. The guardian in the basement senses this energetic instability as a threat, and it puts the entire house on lockdown. The CEO may continue the polite conversation, but the feeling brain has retreated, and no true connection can be made. An addictive way of speaking, therefore, is not about having a more interesting conversation with his CEO brain. It is about learning to speak a language that does two things simultaneously. First, it must soothe the guardian in the basement, communicating a profound sense of safety. And second, it must captivate the inhabitant of the main floor, the feeling brain. This, the secret we will reveal, is a way of speaking that does exactly that. It is a way of communicating that is so authentic, so grounded and so free of neediness, that it sends a powerful, calming signal to his survival brain, telling it, "You are safe here." And because his survival brain feels safe, the doors to the house are thrown open. And the very same quality of your authentic speech bypasses the logical CEO and speaks directly to his feeling brain, creating a sense of warmth, resonance, and profound connection. A man becomes addicted to the presence of a woman who makes his entire house feel both safe and wonderfully, beautifully alive. So what is this? What is this magical way of speaking that soothes the survival brain and captivates the feeling brain? The secret is that this is not a what. It is not a specific phrase, a clever line, or a topic of conversation. It is a how. It is the source from which you speak. The secret is the art of speaking from the unneeding center. To speak from the unneeding center is to speak from a place of radical self-possession. It is the act of communicating your truth, your thoughts, and your feelings without any energetic hook attached, without any conscious or unconscious need for a specific response. Your words are not a question, a plea, or a test. They are a statement, a gift, a declaration of your own reality, offered freely and without agenda. To understand the power of this, we must contrast it with its opposite, the way most of us have been conditioned to communicate. This is the energy of the beggar. The beggar speaks from a place of lack. Every word she says is an outstretched hand, hoping for a coin of validation. Every sentence she utters has an invisible question mark at the end. Did you like that? Do you agree? Do you still love me? Her communication is a transaction. She is offering her words in exchange for your approval. This energy is deeply depleting, and it instantly signals to a man's nervous system that she is not a source of nourishment, but a source of need. The woman who speaks from the unneeding center is not the beggar. She is the queen. The queen speaks from a place of fullness. She is the ruler of her own inner kingdom, and her words are not a plea but a decree. They are a simple, clear, and calm statement of the reality within her own realm. She is not offering her words in exchange for anything. She is offering them as a gift, and she is profoundly unattached to how they are received. Let us be clear, the content of what the beggar and the queen say might be exactly the same. The difference is the energetic source. The beggar says, "I had a wonderful day today," and then she immediately and unconsciously scans his face, watching for his reaction. Is he happy for her? Is he going to ask about it? Her statement was a hook, a test of his engagement. The queen says, "I had a wonderful day today," and the statement is complete in itself. It is a simple declaration of her own joy, a joy that she is experiencing for her own sake. She is not monitoring his reaction because her feeling about her day is not dependent on his response. Her statement was a gift, an offering of her own positive energy into the space. Speaking from the needing center is the ultimate act of sovereignty. It communicates on a level far deeper than words that you are the source of your own emotional well-being. You are not making him responsible for your happiness, your confidence, or your sense of worth. This is the state that a man's soul becomes addicted to. He is in the presence of a woman who needs nothing from him, which liberates him from the exhausting role of being the constant provider of validation. In this freedom, he is not a resource to be mined, but an equal to be met. And the desire that arises from this space is not born of duty, but of a genuine, profound, and lasting fascination with the woman who is so completely and beautifully at home with herself. To speak from the unneeding center is not an abstract, mystical state. It is a practical and learnable skill that has three primary observable manifestations. These are the three ways in which this way of speaking shows up in the real world. The first manifestation is the sovereign boundary. This is what a boundary sounds like when it is spoken from the energy of the queen, not the beggar. The beggar's boundary is an apology or a demand. She will say, "I'm so sorry. I know this is a bad time, but I really can't make it tonight. I've just been so busy." Or she will say, "You need to stop doing that. It's not fair to me." The first is a plea for forgiveness for having a boundary. The second is an attack. The Queen's boundary, spoken from the unneeding center, is a calm, clear, and complete statement of her reality. It is our sovereign statement. She will say, with a kind but firm tone, "That doesn't work for me," or "I'm not available for that." There is no long apologetic explanation. There is no angry demand. There is simply a declaration of her truth. She is not asking for his permission. She is informing him of her reality. This is addictive because it signals on a profound level that she is a woman whose world is governed by her own principles, not by the need for his approval. The second manifestation is the unfiltered observation. This is the art of sharing a simple, honest observation about the present moment, with absolutely no agenda. The beggar's observations are always a test. She will say, "It's such a beautiful night, isn't it?" with the unspoken hope that he will turn it into a romantic declaration. Her observation is a hook. The Queen makes an observation for the pure joy of it. She will look at the sky and say, with a sense of genuine wonder, "The moon is beautiful tonight." And that is it. The statement is a gift, an invitation for him to share a moment of present awareness with her. She is not testing his response. She is simply sharing her own experience of reality. This is addictive because it is so rare. To be in the presence of someone who is not constantly trying to manage the interaction, who is simply present to the beauty of the moment, is a profound and calming experience. It is a glimpse into the peace of her own inner kingdom. The third and most powerful manifestation is the vulnerable truth. This is how a sovereign woman shares her feelings. The beggar's vulnerability is a cry for help. She will say, "I'm feeling so sad," with the unspoken and often unconscious demand that he must now cheer her up, that he must fix her feeling. Her vulnerability is a burden she is handing to him. The Queen, speaking from the unneeding center, owns her own feelings. She can share her vulnerability as a simple statement of fact without making him responsible for it. She can say, with a calm and centered presence, "I am moving through a wave of sadness today." Notice the profound difference. The first is a problem for him to solve. The second is a reality for him to witness. The vulnerable truth, spoken from a place of self-possession, is one of the most powerful tools of deep connection. It invites him into her inner world, but not as a savior. It invites him in as a trusted witness. This is addictive because it creates a space of profound intimacy without the exhausting pressure of codependency. It is the ultimate sign of an emotionally mature and trustworthy partner. Now that we have seen the practical manifestations of speaking from the unneeding center, we must journey into the deep why. Why is this way of speaking so powerful? Why does it create a feeling that is described as addictive? The answer lies in the deep archetypal landscape of the human psyche, as mapped by Jung. The reason this authenticity is the ultimate aphrodisiac is that it is the native language of the self. As we have discussed, most of our communication comes from the ego and often from the wounded part of our ego, the orphan archetype. This is masked communication. It is a performance. Our words are tools or weapons or pleas designed to manage the world and to get our needs met. The modern world is a desert of this kind of communication, a vast landscape of social media posturing, of transactional dating, of people speaking from their masks to other people's masks. And we are all, on a soul level, profoundly thirsty. A man, just like a woman, is a thirsty traveler in this desert. He is accustomed to drinking the sugary, unsatisfying sodas of performative communication. He is used to women who speak to him with an agenda, whether it is the agenda to impress him, to please him, or to change him. And then he encounters you, the woman who has learned to speak from her unneeding center. And the words that come from your mouth are not a sugary soda. They are a glass of clean, cool, clear, life-giving water. Your simple, honest, unneeding communication is so rare and so nourishing that his soul recognizes it instantly as the one thing it has been truly thirsty for. This is the Jungian mechanism at play. His soul, his anima, is exhausted by the world of personas, of masks. It is in a constant unconscious search for what is real. When you speak from yourself, from a place of calm, grounded, non-needy authenticity, You are broadcasting a powerful signal. You are communicating that you are a woman who is in a deep and trusting relationship with her own center, and his anima recognizes yourself. This is a resonance that happens on a level far beneath conscious thought. It is a soul-to-soul communication. He may not know on a logical level why he feels so drawn to you, why your simple words have such a profound effect on him, but his soul knows. His soul knows that it is in the presence of something real in a world of the fake. This is the source of the addiction. It is not a codependent addiction to you as a person. It is his soul's profound and healthy addiction to the feeling of authenticity. Your presence, your way of speaking, becomes the one place where he feels he can drop his own mask, where he can be met with a reality that is not demanding or performing. He does not become addicted to what you say. He becomes addicted to the truth that your very being represents. And in a world of illusions, the truth is the most powerful and sought-after substance of all. To understand the theory of speaking from the unneeding center is wisdom. To have a practical tool that allows you to access this state, especially in moments of pressure, is power. This is the practical alchemy. This is how you learn to speak the language of the self. This is not a formal ritual, but an integrated, in-the-moment mental practice. We call it the truth anchor. Think of your mind as a ship on a stormy sea of emotions, expectations, and the desires of others. The old conditioned way of speaking is to be tossed about by these waves, reacting to every gust of wind. The truth anchor is the practice of dropping a heavy anchor from the chaotic surface of your mind down into the still, silent, and deep waters of your own soul, where your true, unneeding voice resides. This is a micro-practice to be performed in the sacred pause between the moment you feel the impulse to speak and the moment you actually open your mouth. It has 4 steps. First, the pause. This is the most crucial step and the most difficult at first. The next time you are in a conversation, especially one that feels important or emotionally charged, you must resist the lifelong habit of immediate, reactive speech. Before you answer, before you explain, before you defend, you will simply and consciously pause. Take one single, silent, intentional breath. This breath is a pattern interrupt. It is the moment you choose not to be the wave, but to become the calm sea captain. Second, the anchor. During that sacred pause, you will perform a somatic anchor. Bring your awareness down, out of the frantic chatter of your mind, and into the solid, undeniable reality of your body. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Feel the weight of your body in your chair. Feel the texture of the clothes against your skin. This is the act of dropping anchor into the present moment. You are reminding your nervous system that you are safe, right here, right now, regardless of the conversation that is happening. Third, the question. Now that you are paused and anchored in your body, you will silently and quickly ask your own inner wisdom one simple, powerful question. What is my truest, simplest statement right now, free of any agenda? Let us break this question down. Truest means the voice of your soul, not the voice of your performing ego or your wounded orphan. Simplest means without the long, defensive over-explaining that you have been conditioned to use. And free of any agenda is the most important part. It means, what would you say if you had absolutely no need for him to react in a certain way? What would you say if his approval or disapproval had zero effect on your sense of self? Fourth, the action. You speak that truth. No more, no less. Perhaps the agenda-driven part of you wanted to say, we should define this relationship because it's giving me anxiety. The truth anchor reveals your simpler, truer statement is, I am enjoying getting to know you. Perhaps the agenda-driven part of you wanted to say, you should not do that, it's wrong. The truth anchor reveals your simpler, truer statement is, that doesn't work for me. This is the practice. It is the art of tuning into the quiet, steady radio frequency of your own soul before you broadcast your words out into the world. With practice, this pause becomes instantaneous. You will learn to live in a state of being so anchored to your own truth that your words will always be an expression of it. And that is the source of a presence and a voice that is profoundly and addictively real. We began this journey searching for a secret, a magic phrase, the this that a woman can say to make a man addicted. We have traveled through the 3 levels of the human brain, We have contrasted the beggar with the queen, and we have learned the sacred grounding practice of the truth anchor, and we arrive at this final liberating truth. This, the one thing you can say that will make him addicted, is not a specific set of words. It is any word, any phrase, any sentence that is spoken from the profound, unshakable and courageous ground of your own authentic, unneeding center. It is the language of the real. And the final alchemy, the ultimate reframe, is this: you do not make him addicted to you. You make him addicted to the feeling of truth itself. In a world that is a desert of performance, of masks, of transactional communication, your authenticity is a drink of clean, cool water. His soul, like all of our souls, is profoundly thirsty for what is real. The addiction he feels is his soul's deep and healthy craving for the one thing that can truly nourish it. Stop searching for the right words to say. Stop rehearsing the perfect script. The work is not to become a better performer. The work is to become a clearer channel for your own truth. Master the art of dropping the truth anchor into the quiet depths of your own being and speak from that place. Do this and you will discover that you no longer have to try to be interesting. You simply are. You no longer have to try to be magnetic. Your authenticity is the most powerful gravity in the universe, and you no longer have to worry about what to say, because you will have finally become the woman whose very presence is the most beautiful and captivating message of all.